Hello, this is my ninth video. I would like to discuss three things. Number one, President Obama has today started his official re-election rallies campaigning. And in his rallies, he had the sign that said, "Forward, period." I believe that that is a basketball terminology and the position of forward. And I believe that's a great respect for Larry Bird. I think this is going to be a slam dunk re-election. You're talking about a guy who's more famous than Michael Jackson, running against a guy in Mitt Romney who, um, he's like out of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or something. You remember that show with that British sounding guy? Um, and then I read this article about things happening in president's second terms. Just some uh, side article about that, saying how Clinton had the Monica Lewinsky scandal in his second term, and W. Bush had the Hurricane Katrina in his second term. So the article is going on about, oh, so what's going to happen to Obama in his second term? So I scratch my head, and it's like Obama says all the time. Do you have amnesia? Do you not remember things just in recent history? There was something called the British Petroleum oil spill, oil gusher, I call it, in the Gulf of Mexico, and it can't get any worse than that for a presidential headache. So I think whatever is supposedly supposed to happen in presidential second terms already happened to Obama in his first term. So no need to worry about that. Okay. Um. Oh, yeah. What was I gonna? I wanted to transition this. Oh yeah, because of the. Uh. Speaking of disasters, with the oil gusher. Um. Number two, what I want to talk about. Uh. As I mentioned in my previous video about the Japanese 311 disaster. Well, the Japanese just today closed their last nuclear power plant in their country, which they were running a third of their energy off of nuclear power. And now they have no nuclear power. Talk about efficiency. I mean, could you imagine how hard that bureaucratically would be to just in just about a year's time just totally get off of a power source for any country? That's awesome. I commend them on that. And their prime minister, Noda is his name. He was just in Washington about a week ago at the White House, and what he was saying was that the Japanese are going to start buying a lot of natural gas from America. So that's great all the way around. I'm all for natural gas. I mean, it's like half or a third, even as um, dirty as oil. It's way less dirtier than oil, and we have so much of it, and I'm all for it. So, well, that's good for America. We're going to be selling natural gas, and it's good for Japan because it's they're going to be getting a lot of it, and they don't have to worry about any more disasters like that. What I did know about when that disaster did happen was that the French, who are they run the most, they get the most energy of any country in the world from nuclear power, the French. So they're obviously experts in it. And I don't really think I'm hypocritical here. It's, what works for one country might not work for another. But what the French were the ones who initially went into Japan because the nuclear spill was leaking into the water, into the ocean. So the French at least stopped it from leaking into the ocean, and then they let the Japanese take it from there. So thanks to the French. And so, which transitions me into number 3. French presidential election. The polls are open now. So I'm going to say that I still think Nicolas Sarkozy is going to beat Francois Hollande. Sarkozy's down in the polls. But I think that the French voters are going to re-elect him. I just do, because okay, we have to get into broader European politics here, and I'm going to try to make it real simple, understandable. But I'm not going to talk about it very quickly. I need to explain things. Okay. Also, we all know about, you just turn on your radio when you're driving to work in the morning, right? All for about a year now. It's like Greece and what's going on, and then all this stuff. And then so you hear France and Germany were the leaders of it all, where they said, okay, and this is how it has to be. We have to cut back on spending, you know. But what I was saying again, what works for one place might not work for another. Uh, Europeans, they have, it's different than America, for example. Um, their retirement age is lower. They have public health care. They have trains, and they ride around their continent. Things cost money. Um, whereas America's solution to our problems right now is to spend more money and to build things, to infrastructure. Well, the Europeans are already spending their money on infrastructure, so they can't do that. They're already doing that. So what they have to do is cut back on their social programs. So that's what France and Germany said. That was the prescription to the problems. Well, Greece, I mean, retirement age in Greece is like 50 some years old. I mean, it's like a decade sooner than, say, America, and even I would say a lot of European countries. So the Greeks were like, is a shock to them. Like, what the heck? What do you mean we gotta work longer and we gotta pay our taxes and this, that, and the other, and there are other countries are telling us what to do, and well, the bottom line was like, okay, well, yeah, because other countries are loaning you the money, so there are some terms involved. Well, what's happening also, uh, the polls are open now also in Greece, where they could just split into, like, from 2 parties into 30 parties, they're saying. So Greece apparently is going to be, there's not going to be any majority leader, and there's going to be arguments going on in Greece now. They want to roll back all this what's happening in the last year, the fixing of the problems. So then you have also now Sarkozy. is up for re-election, and the guy who's against him, Francois Hollande, wants to also roll back all that was fixed. So I mean, do any of us want to turn on our radios anymore and hear, oh my, all this, just a repeat, like Groundhog Day of all this that went on in Europe? So, I mean, I think the French would be smart to re-elect Sarkozy. It's plain and simple. And Germans are also having elections. Their polls were open, and they're just in one region. And I'm sort of going, not sort of, I'm going for the left in Germany, where see, I'm going for the right in France, I'm going for the left in Germany. Um, and then their German chancellor it's more than a year away, where she's up for re-election. Well, I was so upset many years ago when she actually got in there, because I thought their chancellor at the time, Gerhard Schroeder, who opposed the Iraq War, uh, I was mad that she beat him and so forth. So you know, it's not that complicated actually. I'm go- and so my main thing is here. I wanted to say I want to get this on video. I want to say I'm supporting Sarkozy before the polls even close and he's down. Sarkozy.